15-year-old Lewis sits behind his screen, bored out of his mind. It doesn't take him long to resort to YouTube. Scrolling through his subscriptions, he falls upon the newest upload from Sopaz. I wonder who this MamaMax guy that he collaborated with is. I think I'll check him out. Lewis is greeted with,
"I'm Max."
He proceeds to watch every video available on the channel in the span of one day. I like MamaMax. As it is, this won't be your typical documentary. This is my account and impressions of his work. What's important to you? What's your goal in life? Just take a minute and think about it. As humans, we all strive for happiness, and sometimes that can be taken away from us due to things like depression, anxiety, whatever else. Most everyone has to deal with some sort of mental or even physical pain. These pains can be caused by various different circumstances. We all have our own. But in the light of this, we search for answers. Why is this happening to me? Why am I feeling this way? When will it stop? How can I change this? When can I change this? We search for answers, grasping at anything that comes our way, trying everything, taking any advice we can get, good or bad. Not everyone has the answers. Not everyone claims to have the answers. Some only try their best to help with the things they can. MamaMax is known for this reason. His first objective on YouTube is to help others like him, those who have been through what he has been through. No, he doesn't claim to have the answers, but he sure does give great reasoning behind his advice. What is it that makes MamaMax special to me? It's his ability to create a scenario of no hope and turn it around. MamaMax's content is just depressing, why would anyone enjoy it? Sounds like someone who's only watched the first half of one of his videos, or has never seen any of his other videos specifically made for comedic purposes, which he just so happens to upload every other week. To many, his videos are the answer they've been looking for. Even for someone like me that doesn't struggle with the topics at hand, I find it pointful to know the advice he has to offer. On YouTube, people most generally look for comedic entertainment. While as I stated, Max has his fair share of comedic content, he's generally very thoughtful, emotional, and serious. Yes, his content can be depressing, but not without ending on a positive note. Within his videos, he is always true to a situation. He will only paint reality as reality, but within this reality is where he finds his answers. He's even brought up some of the horrible advice he's heard over the years just for the sake of mocking it. When dealing with these type of extreme situations, fixing it doesn't mean making you feel better in the moment. It means getting to the source of the problem and eliminating it. Max knows this all too well. When discussing a topic of the sorts that he does, it would be seemingly inappropriate to come across as spread the happiness, fake emotion, bad advice vlogger. Basically what I'm saying is, if the format of your video isn't done in a way that's viably adequate to the situation, then the message or advice given off may be disregarded. Max's tone and style of his videos fit the topics precisely. If you're going to talk about loneliness, it's best not to fill the video with lots of colors and happy music. Max's style is very unique, in fact, one of the most unique I've ever seen on YouTube. His videos in general are so distinguished from everyone else's, it's impossible to mistake him. While some aren't necessarily a fan of his style, it's hard to argue that it doesn't fit his content. He generally avoids the use of color, but if done so, done for a specific reasoning. Keeping us visually entertained is done through the continuous motion and augmentation of the screen at all times, which is immediately apparent when watching one of his videos. In addition to that, his editing style is continual and always represents what he's talking about. A lot of what he says is visually represented through the use of this half animation style that he's been using. They're very basic characters with not a lot of movement, but it works as he uploads a video every Saturday. With that though, the basic design of them allows to more clearly express the emotion at hand. At first he only ever used these character figures to represent what he talks about, but as time has gone on he's added in more and more images in between. The images at hand are oftentimes augmented with the pencil sketch aesthetic, which is my personal favorite for his videos. Over time, he has experimented with different forms of bordering on his videos, some taking up most of the screen, some moving more than others, and finally coming to what he has now, only showing up a little bit with motion. It's sad to see that he only has 100,000 subscribers as of now, considering how high quality his content is. But one of the things Max has done to further himself is to collaborate. It appears that a good amount of large YouTubers know who he is, and quite a few of them have showed up on many different videos of his. But collaborating to him isn't just about furthering himself, it's about furthering the guest at hand. He doesn't collaborate that often, but it's not a surprise when he does. At many points, people have called Max creepy, and I can see where they're coming from. His overall style and how he gets a bit close to the microphone adds up. Also, just going by how he talks. Max is a pretty quiet person. He's never really been too loud in his videos, or otherwise. The volume of his voice doesn't generally vary that much. This only adds to the creepy tone I mentioned. While that may scare some people off, Max is actually a very friendly person, and tries to give time to everyone. Max went as far as to say sorry for making a Patreon, as he didn't want to take money from his subscribers. His kindness shows his intelligence, in a way. I'll explain it like this. If he's one that has followed the advice that he's given in his own videos, and he's turned out the way he is, it shows that the advice does truly work. As he stated, when in school, Max would get straight A's, further showing his intellect. Although, like I said, I believe the best example of how smart he can be is through the advice that he has to offer. Max's content isn't just advice though. As I stated, he has his own type of comedic videos. Max's sense of humor is a bit harsh, brutally insulting the subject at hand, whether it be invisible walls, movie theaters, or public bathrooms. The thing with these videos though is it's a bit hard to tell whether he's joking sometimes, using phrases like, "just kidding, but not really. Seriously though, I'm joking. But maybe not." Also, a lot of what he says is conveyed through the use of sarcasm, even in his serious videos. The sarcasm itself can either be a good or a bad thing, as it can take up a good amount of the videos he chooses to use it in. Despite his channel being based around the issues and struggles he's faced in life, he's still remained fairly secretive. For a good amount of time, we still had no idea what he looked like, but as his channel has gone on, more and more of who he is has started to come out. Max is more willing to share his experiences in life and not so much his personal information. We can learn all about what's happened to him in the past, but we won't learn his full name, for example. But to go on from that, Max's reaction to the community is probably one of the most genuine I've ever seen on YouTube. He really does enjoy having the fan base that he does, and it's clear to me that he doesn't just enjoy it for the money or for the fame, but because he has a different type of bond with them than anyone else I've seen. Given the unique subject matter and style of his videos, and considering how he treats everyone, his fanbase is extraordinarily friendly and welcoming. It's almost as though Max treats his subscribers as a second family. With that though, he still has some haters and criticizers, but Max has never really cared. He has had a series talking about the stupid things people have said about him and such, and yes, he was quite harsh in that series, but he has had to mention that he puts on a persona in those specific videos. Yes, he's mean as the character that he plays in them, but his actual intentions aren't to spread any hate. He stated that those videos are made that way for entertainment purposes. Max normally handles hate with the questioning of it. He wants criticism, but if someone doesn't properly articulate themselves or just tries to make false criticisms, then he'll usually be sure to call it out. Over the time he's been on YouTube, Max is always looking for criticisms of his content. His interests are to improve himself no matter what, and that's always what he's done. His content wouldn't be as good as it is today if he wasn't so open to criticism as he's been. Max's videos have changed the lives of many. He has seriously improved the well-being of some people, as seen with a quick look in any of his comment sections. But he continues to have influence outside of personal matters. He has influenced the commentary community, as because of him, people are more open to talking about sensitive topics. As I said earlier, he is very well known with many bigger commentary channels, and it's interesting to see how small of a fan base he has, despite the fact. Even then, I think we need more people like MamaMax. You really don't see that many people speaking up about the topics that he does. And I'm not saying we need tons of them, but just enough to where people hear the things they have to say. I think the biggest reason why I feel as though he deserves more subscribers is because more people need to hear his advice. There are too many that need help and can't get it, but it's funny to think that help could be as easy as watching a YouTube video, and that's why his content is so brilliant. He never says you'll be just fine after watching one of his videos. Oftentimes he tells you that you're going to have to work very hard to achieve your goal, but the advice and motivation has to come from somewhere, and that somewhere is oftentimes one of his videos.